All right, so our next question. It was said that we do the flush so that the toxins will have a way to exit the body. So the flush she's talking about is the liver and gallbladder flush. Okay? Now, with the consumption of just water, will it be days that we may not have bowel movements? I've been wondering about that. Please explain. So, first, the liver and gallbladder flush is the flush that she's talking about. So, with the liver gallbladder flush, the goal of it is to revitalize the liver, move chemicals and toxins and sludge and mucus and contaminants and crystals out of the liver, out of those tubes, so that the liver can function, more efficiently. During the liver flush, there is a recommendation to do either a water enema or a colonic. The point of that is to make sure that when you do the flush, all of the stones and all the material and contaminants that the liver releases is also released from your body entirely. What you don't want to do is try to fast while doing the liver flush. That does not work. So I want to make that clear to you because the question seems to insinuate that maybe the liver flush and this fasting is going hand in hand. That might not be the case, but I just want to make sure we understand that we do not do the liver flush while we are fasting. Now, with the consumption of just water, will there be days where you don't have bowel movements? Absolutely, right? There are going to be many days where you're not going to have bowel movements. Why? Because when you start fasting, you're not eating and you don't have that pressure in your system to force the fecal matter out. Most of us do not have high functioning bowels. Okay, they're weak, they're poor, they're low functioning. We've dealt with extreme constipation for years, and because of all of this, when you start fasting, you get to see essentially the state of your intestine, your bowels. We get to see how well your digestive works. You'll probably have a bowel movement day one that you start the fast, and then you might go a few days without it. Those few days could be 2 days, it could be 10 days, depending on how long you're fasting and where you are in your journey, what you consumed prior to fasting. There's a lot of different factors. I've also had people say that they have a bowel movement every single day of their fast. So it just depends on you, but it is very common for the bowels to slow. I would say that there's nothing to worry about unless you feel very uncomfortable or very ill. If you are on your fast and you haven't had a bowel movement for 5, 6 days, whatever the case may be, and you are feeling extremely ill, there's a good opportunity that there's a good chance that you need to flush. So you either need to force a bowel movement or you need to go and get a colonic or do an enema. One of the ways that I like to, kind of force bowel movements is through the use of the AHA castor pack. The castor pack is a cotton pad that you put castor oil, very special castor oil on. You put that right underneath where your liver would go, right? You put it on top of the skin where your liver would go on the right hand side of the body, and then you sleep with it. That will slowly seep into your skin overnight, and it will stimulate the bowels so that you can have a bowel movement. That's one way. If you guys want something more like a laxative, you can actually take the oil that is included in the castor pack, take a tablespoon of the oil by mouth, and force a bowel movement. I do want to say, make sure that you are up on your water intake if you're going to use it as a laxative, because you're going to lose a lot of water when you start to flush. But those two, those are great ways to get your bowels going if you're not having bowel movements, or even if you want to get ahead of the curve and say, I'm going to start fasting. I did the prep. I did everything right. What tools can I use to help avoid issues? That castor pack is going to be a major, major benefit. All right.